What if Joe Ibuki was dropped in the Ippos era and became the main character? Let's talk about it. But first, I want your chin up and your hands down. Ready? Box! Alright, for this what if, you guys, it's one you've been asking for a long time. We're going to put Joe Ibuki into Ippos era and see how he does. Quick disclaimer, I'm not doing all the matches of Ippo, just a couple hot points and interesting little tidbits I want to talk about. If you do want a longer video, we'll talk about that at the end of the video. Just give me a second. Now, starting off in this version of it, I want to keep Joe as an orphan that gets adopted by Ippo's mother. That's the change I would make, but just for the sake of the video, we'll keep it pretty much as the same as Ippo's storyline as we can, just adding a few elements of Joe when we can put it in, you know? So, single mother helps with the boat. I would have to make Joe kind. You know what I mean? He's a kind man. He's not just going out there and wilding out and punching on kids and fighting, because if that's the case, honestly, it would just be Sendo all over again. Sendo's storyline would be like Joe in this time, so let's not do that. And during this era, it'd be called the Heisei Era, which went on from January 8th, 1989 to April 30th, 2019. So it just pretty much ended not too long ago. And one of the big points of this era was the lost decades, which was at an economic period of lengthy stagnation. You know, people were broke through their lives, weren't many jobs out there. And so with that in mind, I believe Joe feel kind of bound to the fishing boat business, and obviously he loves his mother. He wants to help her out and be there for her. But I would keep that wanderlust and desire for tomorrow and wanting more inside Joe. He doesn't know how he's going to do it and take care of his mom. That would be one of his biggest things, you know. He wants to kind of like see the world. But Joe in this version has the heart of a lion. He still has the same type of heart. So when it comes time for him to get bullied by the bullies, he's going to fight back. He's going to fight back, duke it out, and probably whoop them down too. Because in this version, Joe is still the same height and the same weight. So he's small, but he has a lot of heart. He can fight. So he'll give it as good as he gets. But I feel like when Takamura comes to save Joe in this case, Joe might take it. He might be so charged up and so powered up, he tries to attack Takamura. That leads to Takamura going out and Takamura beating Joe and bringing them back to the Kamigawa gym. You know, so in a way, it's almost like Delinquent Days, how that Omake went. But Takamura more like, hey, you know what? You have heart. You can fight. No, you'll never be able to beat me. But I want you to meet the old man and become a world champion. And in this version of it, I'm going to tell the truth. I think that Kamigawa was going to mess with Joe much quicker. He's going to take a liking to him much faster than we did with Ippo. He's not even going to try to because I think he's going to see the fire in Joe's eyes. Like, no, I can work with him. We can work together. Now, I said before, Joe's maintaining his bantamweight. He's maintaining his speed and power. But okay, no, I take that back. When he does become a pro, he gets plus 10 speed and -5 durability, because he's going to be fighting in featherweight. He's going to be fighting in Ippo's weight class, but he's going to stay his same body type. So there's going to be that there too. But we'll get to that when we get there. I'm jumping ahead. The training at Kamigawa is going to be way, way, way tougher than Danpei's gym. Way tougher. Only because there's more variety. You know, you got Kimura's awkward style. You got, so you got Aoki's awkward style. You got Kimura's well-rounded style. You got Takamura's supreme adaptation style. And all different fights. And then people from different gyms actually come to spar with Kamigawa. So he'll get so much more. It would be such a richer boxing experience just because he has so much more people around him. And just in general, his training with Kamigawa would be tougher. What? I do believe that how when he was in the prison with the boys, how he would use the plow with one hand to strengthen his wrist and his punches. He would use Ippo's hammer training earlier on. Now, in this version, I'm going to give Joe Ippo's ingenuity, because Ippo's ingenuity is really good when it comes to training. He thinks of different training methods. He does them, and he really takes the place of a coach in his own mind, which, shout out Kamigawa, should be training them better, but still. And before it was retconned, he was punching the logs. Ippo hit the logs with the hammer, which helped strengthen his wrist and his power. He still loses to Miyata. The first time. Same way, pulls out the counter, hits him. Because here, Joe's punches do hurt, but they're not like Ippo's punches. They're not on the same type of power level, but they still do damage. and Miyata has a glass jaw, so still loses to Miyata. The second time around they fight, though, I want I want to see a count. I want to see the triple counter come into place, like the Wolf Kanegushi beat Joe with. So it'll be a counter on counter on counter, and Joe comes out on top. Joe beats him. Just for the sake of the story, Joe beats him, comes out on top, bam. But now instead of Ippo's rivalry just kind of being, like, who's the better boxer, it comes down to who is the king of counters. I won't put that the king of counters. Now they're trying to up each other, getting better counter, better counter, better counter. Da 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 da. How much better can it go? Bam. The next note I have is that when he fights Yoshi Fujiwara, that was the big head Yakuza looking guy that kept cheating headbutting Ippo. When he fights against him, he would actually cheat back. Joe's going to cheat back. See, with Ricardo Rivera, cheat him, he's going to cheat back. He will get scolded by Kamigawa, but he'll still get the win. And in this version of the Heisei Era, his version of it, Joe actually gets more decision wins than he does knockout victories, only because of such the big weight class gap, you know. And we saw he's getting knocked down by welterweight, which, you know, featherweight's smaller than that, but I don't see Joe really going up there and just bullying someone, weight bullying them. He's really doing a lot more like Ayama techniques, where he's using his footwork, using the cross guard. He's not kind of trading blows as much, and more decision wins, but wins nonetheless. And a side note, all the tomfoolery and playing around they do at Kamigawa gym, Joe's not going for that. Again, think about when Seno went to visit the gym. Takamura grabbed him and touched him. He ain't with all that. He ain't with all the bullying. He gonna fight back. So I can see him and Takamura fighting probably on a daily basis when he starts playing too much. Because Joe's just not, he's just not going for that. We come into the Class 8 tournament. No, Rookie King tournament. And I believe his first real challenge, I wanted to give it to Kobashi, I'll give it to Hayami. Just in the sense of speed, you know, because in this version of him, in the Heisei Era version, Joe is outspeeding people. He's outspeeding, he's a small counterpuncher, he's getting the knockout, so I don't really see him having too much trouble with, say, like Jason Ozuma, you know, if he gets on that bicycle, moves around, just kind of bangs his drum, goes to attack the body, because his blows do have power, and he's going to get one punch knockouts to the body, so he's relying a lot on body blows, counters, and footwork in this version. And he has a guard. The no guard style never exists in this version of it, because he's not going for that. Now, would Joe have a peekaboo style? I don't believe so. I believe Kamigawa will lead more towards giving him a Detroit or Hitman style, just because how long his arms really are, and he's a lanky guy, so I see that being the case for him. I do believe he gets to Mishiba again, beats Mishiba pretty easily, you know, knocks Mishiba out, same way Miyata was doing to him. However, I just think that it'll be harder to catch Joe than Miyata, because in this version of it, Joe is quicker than Miyata. It'd be harder to catch him and kind of get him just to, bam, get down. I have SENDO'S Arrival at the gym next. I do think that'll be welcomed with open arms, just because Joe and Sendo are so much akin to one another. They'll be like kindred spirits. Even if he has a broken hand, he has to get the shots, and then has to go to the east side or west side Rookie King. Like, he has to go over there to fight him. He would do it. He'd be more inclined than Ippo would be, especially once he meets him and sees him. Now that fight, a come forward, beat you down style. Power wise, I'm gonna tell you guys, just based on the power aspect and skill of it, I give it to Joe. I definitely give it to Joe. I can see, just because you gotta think, in this time Joe has the quickest counter in all the Heisei Era. You know what I mean? He has the quickest counter, and so I can see him stopping Sendo, and he throws punches at variations, and we'll keep him with his kangaroo punch. He uses the ropes too, so we'll keep him using that too. So he beats Sendo, and around this time is around the classic tournament, I think, begins. So Yumazawa's working at the fishing boat. He can go all in on boxing and see the world and like really live his life and burn his ass. You know what I mean? Because he just knows he wants to be great. He can use that now, and this is when we begin to see Joe's real challenges. First up, I have Saeki. All right, he's a fast guy, quick on his feet. You know, he He dances around, uses predictable methods, yes, but he has a flicker jab. It's going to be a danger to Joe. This is going to be a problem. It's going to push him to his limits. And I see the fight going pretty similar to how it went with Itagaki. But he's trying his best, doing his best, but still like kind of hitting walls and has to like think of something on the fly. I give it to Joe, but I can easily see him losing this match. Next up is Vogue. Alright, now Vogue is a tough one. Vogue is a tough customer. His amateur experience, he has a deadly white fang, and his punches are going to be 10 times more devastating just because of Joe's weight. I can see him beating him, because in this version, he learns the same new punches that Ippo learned before the matches. So if he does the gazelle punch, sticks with it, I can see him taking the better of him. Especially if he comes down to lung capacity, I feel like he has better stamina and energy than Vogue. Especially if he starts up at a high pace and keep Vogue running his pace, he will knock him down. Now, we gotta talk about what happens when he gets to Date. Date, you're skipping over Akihito right now. Go straight to Date. If you made it this far in the video, comment Traumaless Joe. Traumaless Joe. I'm trying to see how my retention is doing. Now, Date, he's coming. I want this time to give a glimpse into Joe Saeki. He wants to fight Miyata. He wants to be king of the counters. He wants to beat his rival. That's the only thing on his mind. He's almost getting a little frustrated with Kamigawa for holding him back so much. At this point, he wanted to chase Miyata down to the Philippines to fight him there. But obviously, he didn't go that route. Or did he go to the Philippines? Comment below where he went. But Traumaless Joe, if you got this far. When it comes down to Joe versus Date, Joe wins. Yes, Joe Yabuki will defeat E.G. Date with Kamigawa's teachings and his supreme counters. I believe in this fight, not only will he think of his signature move, which I'm giving a kangaroo punch. He comes off the ropes using the springing and throws a counter over the overhand counter. But he will find a way to counter the heartbreak shot. Yes, Joe Yabuki will counter the heartbreak shot, breaking E.G. Date's doll and becoming the Japanese featherweight champion as a bantamweight.
That's what I'm talking about right there. That's
God, stop playing with that man. Stop playing with that man. All right, here's where things take a big turn. After winning the belt and becoming the featherweight JBC champion, he wants to go immediately for Miyata. Immediately. And we can take two turns with this. On one side, because this Joe Yabuki, he's respectful and love elders. He's still gonna be fighting to get to where he has to get to. We can have him go against Sendo again and defeat him, and in that match he can come up with his signature move there. But I kind of want to do it this way, take a discourse. He wants to go fight Miyata so bad he actually leaves Kamigawa Gym. He will leave Kamigawa Gym to go fight Miyata. Now, what gym will he go to, you may ask? The 91 gym. To train with the Tiger, of course. He will train with Sendo and learn to smash. Now, I want to make no mistake. These battles are getting the best of Joe, okay? He's taking a lot of damage, way more. His boxing career is way shorter than it would have been in Ishida no Joe. So, he needs to get Miyata kind of quick, fast, and hurry, because he's fighting these guys for what? Better part of 20 more pounds? He's 10 more pounds over him, fighting hard, taking those hits, his body's taking punishment, the grueling training outside of practice, outside of matches, so he needs to get it done. He will train with Sendo and be signed to the 91 gym, not only because of Sendo is a good training partner, but also because of the fact that coach, Sendo pretty much runs the gym. This coach do what he says. So he wants to go and fight Miyata, he'll let him go fight Miyata. He might feel a little type of way about Kamigawa being upset, but in this version of it, this is Joe is selfish and wants to live his life to the max. His mom's taken care of. He wants to fight his rival. We do whatever it takes to get to him. And now we have a match. What's it called? We have a match. And now we have a match with 2 belts on the line. Joe Yabuki, the Japanese featherweight champion, and Miyata Ichiro, the OPBF champion. They're fighting not only for the belts, but to decide who is the king of the counters. And when they finally have their match, they give it their all. They're going counter for counter, their best moves. And when they do it, Miyata still comes out on top. In no universe does Joe Yabuki beat his main rival. I'm sorry, y'all. Miyata is fast. he has power and that weight difference plus the counter on deck. I don't see Joe having an answer for it. And I do see Joe losing this match by Jolt counter. I was gonna give Miyata the corkscrew counter, but it comes up way later in the series, and he kind of makes it up when he's pushed to the limit. I don't think this fight will push him, but not enough to advance his counter. He'll still want to use the seal of using only his dad's style on the world stage. And now this one things get interesting. Because I had two ways this goes out. Because after this happens, they're gonna be referring to Joe as the beltless champion, beltless Joe, and basically he's going to be at a crossroads because he fought his rival, he lost to him, and I was going to have Miyata then go to the world stage and take on Ricardo Martinez, get hurt, and kind of play out the same way having Carlos Rivera. But I think the more exciting choice is that Joe understands that he's not good enough for Japan, but in his crazy mind, he still thinks he's good enough for the world. So we now entered survival of the Asian champion saga. Well, people had to really hone in and lock in, But I don't see him. I don't see him getting past Jimmy Shit's his attack, his slaughtering. It would just beat him down. Take the damage. Won't be good enough for boxing. He'll live out his fire, give it a day, and be surrounded by flowers or something. Or help his mom out. He'll get what he wanted. Because another thing during his time, during the Heisei Era, it's called the Lost Decades because a lot of people had money, they're out of jobs. People 20-somethings don't know what to do with themselves, which is similar to today. Where it was a rise in manga and anime and entertainment. So he'll feel like he lived a life that's worth making a story about, worth making an anime about. And I think he'll be satisfied with that, without dying. Because I do feel like in this timeline, the regulations, obviously the rules are a little bit stricter. But the technology is better too. So Joe he will still get hurt, don't get me wrong. He won't get as hurt where he can be permanently damaged. Just because I feel like with his speed, he'll dodge and take less hits than Ippo. And again, mostly decision wins. But now, let's say Joe gets past Jimmy, right? Malcolm Ghetto, he'll give him trouble at first, but then he'll figure him out. Again, it's the speed, it's the counters. Even if he messes with his range, Joe isn't always a come forward type of fighter. He can make Malcolm come to him. And again, go into decision, he definitely beat Malcolm in decision. Those little tricks wouldn't go so far. And Woli, the superstar. He's a rock star. Against Woli, Joe beats him. All right, he beats him by knockout. And again, it comes down to experience. Because I'm not doing a video about Joe fighting all the Ippos opponents, but he would have had more experience than Woli at this point. Woli only has 3 fights. He became a champion like Lomachenko. So with his experience, he definitely could beat Woli. Again, I'm getting a decision because he might just be defending the whole time and throwing he might land more shots. I don't know if he'll be able to knock him out, And if he does, I'd probably be with a body blow. Definitely be with a body blow. And going this route, we bring Joe to Ricardo. Alfredo. Doom, doom, doom. Again, that aggressive beat him down style. The weight class differential, I don't think Joe gets it. I do not think Joe gets it. I really think he loses to Alfredo. If he does, he loses to Martinez. So if Joe Yabuki was put against Ippo's rivals, he would make it to Miyata earlier. But then he lose, and I don't really see him wanting to go forward past that. I don't see him really want to rematch Miyata. That's all I got for this one, y'all. What do you think Joe would do? Tell me how you feel, your thoughts and comments below. Also, if you want me to make a video about Yabuki fighting all of Joe Yabuki's fighting all of Ippo's opponents, put all Yabuki in the comments. I get 25 all Yabukis, 25 likes, and 100 views within, say, the next 2 months. I'll definitely do it. I'll knock it out for you guys. Yeah, catch you next round.